violence have been inherent to the human condition since the beginning of time. As a society, we have progressed from crude to sophisticated execution methods. In this video, we will showcase 7 mind-blowing futuristic weapons that will amaze you. If you don't want to miss any of these incredible innovations, keep watching the video. Number 1. Tracking Point Rifles. In 2012, the unveiling of the first precision-guided weapon system in the world was treated with utmost expectation. A few years later, the American corporation Tracking Points produced a small arms complex using this innovative method. A smart aim gun can be ordered by anyone with the necessary permit, but it will cost at least $7,000. Among amateurs, though this distinction is well-deserved, some individuals believe that PGF guns are cheating devices, which is a contentious claim. Due to the tremendous complexity of the aiming system, it is very expensive. The system includes 2 video cameras with a set of specialized filters, a laser rangefinder, and screen-out sensors, as well as a built-in computer that calculates the necessary corrections for error-free shooting. To acquire the target, receive corrections from the system, and then squeeze the trigger, the shooter needs just to aim at the target, acquire it, and then receive corrections. Number 2. Hikvision Drone Defender. The global number of drones has risen in the past 5 or 6 years. This applies to industrial and amateur drones. While some people enjoy recording beautiful vistas with their drones, others are seeking to prevent them from flying in restricted areas. Hikvision is a Chinese company that manufactures and markets surveillance systems. Its experts have found a way to safely remove or force a drone to land. The first device must be manually held, turned on, and aimed towards a drone. In one mode, the device suppresses the operator's remote control signal. Most contemporary drones return to their launch location using GPS coordinates. In mode 2, the drone exits the area. Both the remote control signal and satellite signal are muffled. The second model operates similarly to the first, but without a person. Before landing or returning to its owner, the system recognizes the drone. Hikvision's Drone Defender protects airports, prisons, and other drone-free areas. Number 3. Smart Guns. In some nations, residents are permitted to acquire and carry firearms. Obviously, this can cause some issues. Because you cannot always have your weapons with you, they may fall into the hands of others and do harm. Thankfully, more and more firearms today are equipped with intelligent technology. The first weapon of this type came roughly 50 years ago. It was a revolver with magnets in its grip. It could only be shot when the magnetic rings were in the hands of the owner. Since then, technology has improved significantly, and other businesses are developing smart firearms. For instance, there are firearms that require both a digital and tactile pin code from the user. There are handguns with built-in recognition systems that can only be fired by people wearing a specific wristband. And there are also firearms that employ optical sensors to recognize a person's biometric data. Nonetheless, only the owner can use these firearms. Number 4. Cornershot. Professionals whose duties include enforcing the law and using weapons are fully mindful of the fact that the presence of the enemy always increases the danger level. In the early 20th century, the first firearm with a curved barrel appeared, allowing it to be fired from around a corner. Today's firearms look quite different from those of the past. Cornershot is a weapon created by the Israeli scientist. He is the foremost authority on safety because of his experience as an Israeli Army Lieutenant Colonel. Each half of Cornershot forms an angle of 63 degrees. The rotating part comes equipped with both a firearm and a video camera, while the user-held pieces can be modified with accessories like sights, suppressors, and even flame arresters, a power source, and more importantly, a screen for viewing captured photographs are included. The shooter can turn the gun to peer around corners, down from a window, or up into the sky, among other positions. Number 5. double-barrel Glock 17 and 18C. The reason why this rifle is shown in our video is evident simply by glancing at it. The rationale lies in its distinctive design. These gas pistols are constructed with a number of patent-protected components, including a double-weight frame, a double barrel, and a double trigger. The caliber of both variants is 6mm. Each side of the twin magazine holds 25 rounds of ammo. The main difference between the double-barreled Glock 17 and 18C is that the first pistol can only shoot in semi-automatic mode, whereas the second gun can also fire in fully automatic mode. Number 6. WMUTS. Following is a clip from our video that features the winning entry in a competition for squad multi-purpose equipment transport held by the US Army a few years ago. The challenge tasked participants with creating and supplying ground robots suitable for transporting weapons, ammunition, supplies, and equipment. General Dynamics Land Systems unveiled the W wheelbase robot, and it has been met with widespread acclaim. The W designates a weaponized multi-role tactical transport. The shown robot complies with all requirements despite its payload of 544 kilograms, ability to operate non-stop for 72 hours, and cover 96 kilometers on a single tank of gas. In addition, the vehicle can be operated in two distinct ways. It can either follow the operator's commands and go in a predetermined path, or it can move autonomously in the wake of the division's troops. The elimination of the need for soldiers to carry heavy loads on their own backs is one way in which 4 WMUTS could increase soldier efficiency. Number 7. Life Card. We must agree that it is difficult to be entirely secured in the modern world, where anything can happen at any time and initially safe settings can quickly become death traps. The minigun life card was developed since it is impossible to carry self-defense weapons wherever and at any time due to their enormous size. It was created by the US business Trailblazer. When folded, the pistol is a basic rectangular box that resembles a standard business accessory and is no larger than a business card storage box. This makes the live card a discreet gun that fits in Eugene's pocket. And that completes our video for today. We hope you enjoyed learning the 7 mind-blowing futuristic weapons in the world. Which of them are you most excited about? Tell us in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more content such as this.